Hi everybody, and welcome to Traveling with Russell. Welcome to a new video, and welcome to Moscow. Now I'm not that far from the center of Moscow, about 15 kilometers away. And based on a video I did just a few weeks ago, I thought I'd come and check out the Eurospar Supermarket. And I've actually done a video in one of their convenience stores, what I like to call a 7-Eleven. And this is one of their full line supermarkets behind me. So I thought we'd go check it out together. The other reason I want to come to this store is I was looking it up on Yandex Maps, and it has a 4.9 rating. Now, similar to Google Maps, you can actually rate businesses, cafes, restaurants. And it's very interesting with this store with 4.9 rating. It's got close to 12,000 reviews, and for it to reach 4.9, it would need a lot of good reviews, right? I think that's, I think it makes complete sense. Now I really am in the suburbs of Moscow here, and the one thing that I really want to take note of is just how busy the car park is, and especially in the last 10 or 15 minutes since I've been here. How many people are coming and going from this store? Now it is very close to a lot of housing. You can see apartment blocks off in the distance. Literally the whole way around where I'm standing is apartments. There is actually a shopping center just right in front of me there, which is recently opened. So this place actually has competition now because a supermarket opened in that building. But where we want to go is to this Eurospar. If you haven't seen a video from one of these supermarkets before, I think it might be interesting for a few of you. There's actually Eurospars all over Russia. They're not just in Moscow, so you can actually visit them in quite a lot of other cities. And this actually isn't Russian owned. It's actually Dutch owned, which is quite interesting in itself. I do like to mix up the content on the videos and on the channel to make sure I'm not just showing one store and going back to it many times. I want to go to as many different versions of supermarket in Russia. And there's many different types and different people who own them as well, just to give you a good sense of supermarket shopping in Russia. I was actually looking around for the trading hours, and it turns out this place is open 24 hours a day. And just have a look how big this place is. Now almost every Eurospar that I've ever been to is much smaller than this, so possibly this might be one of their bigger locations and bigger stores. Lots of very nice flowers here. I was thinking it was actually a separate store. Sometimes they've got these little kiosks in the entrances, but this is actually a supermarket florist. And you can make your wife or girlfriend very happy, take her home some flowers and some potatoes and some chicken, and she'll be happy and sad at the same time. Of course, it's berry season here in Russia, so lots of fresh berries, definitely abundant. With a lot of the food being here very seasonal, they definitely like to put the current seasonal item out the front and make sure we know about them. So there's also apricots over here as well, cherries, and even things that are not seasonal, mangoes and kiwis also. But I just want you to take note of how busy this store is and the selection and how much fresh food there is, and a lot of cooked and prepared food as well. Lots of the normal fruits and vegetables. More than enough choices of tomatoes. I'm always a little bit taken back when I see so many choices. I'm very much used to Australia, where we're essentially told this is your choice of tomato, this is your choice of potato, and then you'll come into a bigger supermarket and there's just endless selection. And this is one of about 10 supermarkets that's within a couple of kilometers of where I'm standing. There is literally 2 other supermarkets that I can see across the road as I was walking here. So you do have a lot of choice of where you can come and buy food. And there's obviously a certain thing that brings everybody here. Of course, Russian vodka has to be placed everywhere. It almost has to be mandatory that there's a little display of it next to all the different foods so that we get inspired with, you know, buying an alcohol with the food. They've also got wines here right next to the meats from the butcher shop. There's actually a line of people waiting for the meats. We're almost at the weekend, so everyone wants food for shashlik and to go to the dacha. Have a look at all those meats right there. I just need an invite to someone's house to have shashlik. So if someone's watching from Moscow and when we invite me for some nice barbecue, I'm more than welcome to come. It's very interesting, they've got all the seafood here and they've got the little salts right on top. It's just such a great way to do an add-on sale and just remind you of something that you might want. If you're not a fan of fish, perhaps looking at these salted fish and different smoked fish might not be ideal. They do actually have an aquarium at the back there. And then the ever popular caviar section. They just have a few choices in this store. Maybe somewhere else they've got more shelves and more choices. As I walk around a little bit more, I will try and point it out where I see them. But Eurospar has a pretty interesting price tag system. Now, it's not on all the products, but when they're imported products or not Russian made, they actually have flags there. So you'll see Spain and Italy on all the different wines. Now, we're actually still at the beginning of the store. We're not anywhere near the alcohol section, but they've got these very nice, interesting setups where they recommend that it's something interesting to buy. And then there's the German flag. Actually, that's the Belgium flag. I'm sorry to all of my German viewers. Belgium and Germany I've mixed up a few times before. I'm sorry about that. And then there's the section here with all the sachets for cooking. We actually have a whole box of these at home. I feel like my wife buys a new packet every time she thinks to make something, and she's not sure if we have it in stock at home or not. All of the olive oils. So let's have a look here. We've got Greece, we've got Italy, Spain, and Turkey as well. Turkish oil. Who would have thought? Now, the one thing that I mention quite often in videos is the fact that most Russian typical supermarkets have a high percentage of Russian produced products, which is very true. If you go to most stores and almost all the ones that I've made videos about, you know, something like this shelf right here, this would all be Russian seafood. But Eurospar likes to mix it up a little and have some foreign items mixed in with all of the Russian-made items. And then they like to put the tag on there as well with the country flag. So it just gives you that little extra incentive maybe to buy something that's not a domestic product. All of the oats. And then we come down to some of the staple items. Salt, sugar, and flour is all kept together. And this is a big supermarket. And then pretty much on every aisle you're going to see the trolleys where they're putting the stock out. So this must have a very big turnover compared to other stores. I mean, 12,000 reviews on Yandex. Now, as you're watching this, let me know, please, Do you review a supermarket on one of your map applications? Because I'm curious. I don't think I've ever done it for a supermarket. I've definitely done it for bars and cafes, because I really do like trying to contribute back to the map and review applications. How many choices of yogurt do we possibly need? There is definitely shoppers in here. It's certainly not empty. And we'll look again, all these little suggestions of food just mixed in amongst all the aisles. I think I'll come back to the alcohol section a little bit later. What I'll try to do is just walk around as quickly as I can, so you can definitely see as many products as possible. This really is very different to the Eurospar convenience shops that I've been to, because there's just so many more choices that they can put into this sort of a store versus the little 7-Eleven style shops. Talking about the 7-Eleven format, I did get quite a lot of comments about it and what it means. It means the shops open from 7 a.m. till 11 p.m. So thus 7-Eleven. Now this store is 24 hours open, so you can come shopping whenever you like, and there is no bias with the prices because of the 24-hour format. So no matter when you shop, you're paying exactly the same price. In Russia, of course, we love mayonnaise, and in almost any store you go to, probably 20 different varieties of mayonnaise, and we like to get it in big servings of it as well. It's used in so many different dishes in Russia. And you've got all of the packaged cheese and hams, a lot of different choices. Again, stuff from Italy and Spain. You can quite clearly see them on the shelves just from the packaging. And they do actually have a deli section right here, so you can actually get the food by weight. So if you want any cheese by a certain size or weight, they can definitely cut it for you. And the same with all of the different hams and smoked meats. Now, if you're wondering why this is a popular thing, so a lot of people shop not necessarily for a whole week. So they might come shopping just for a day or two and just buy food for today or tomorrow, and then they're all done. And a lot of people just want smaller packaging amounts or smaller quantities because they want it to be fresh, they want to eat it today or tomorrow, and then you're all done. This is another reason why people love Eurospar. So if you might have seen my convenience store video, this is the same thing but on a whole new level. And the amount of choices of prepared food. Now all of this is by weight, so they've got the containers on the top shelf, you'll see right up the top there. And you just let them know what you might want, and then you can grab yourself a little mini bottle of vodka to go as well, or some Italian Clio Pinot Grigio. That's interesting. They've got it right there by the salads. And then you have a nice big selection. Now it may not look as busy now because it's early evening. So a lot of this would be mostly lunchtime kind of products, especially the salads and things like that. And you can choose all different types of prepared food. And then the one that I really like is the sushi right here. And then you can just get it by weight and just choose as many as you like. And then the other very popular one is the soups. And have a look here, they'll actually ladle the soup for you. And you don't have to make it at home. And they've even got the croutons right on the counter as well. So you can have a very nice homemade soup for dinner. And if you quickly get home before your other half does, you can tell them that you're slaved all day cooking soup, and then don't let them know you bought it at the supermarket. Most of the prepared food is by weight. And again, there's some that's packaged up already, so you don't have to worry about having it weighed. And then you can just come along and even let them know you only want 1 or 2 chicken wings, or you want a whole container of it. It's up to you. And then you're all good. And unfortunately in Russia we do eat fried food from time to time. So they've got fries and nuggets, which for me probably isn't very healthy, but I think we all eat it from time to time. And then I just wanted to show you on the counter here. So there's a product from England, Scotch whiskey, right here with the chicken wings. How convenient. There is so many nice things here. It makes you hungry just walking around and looking, and you just can't decide. I mean, of course, a lot of staple foods in this prepared food area, and maybe they don't look appetizing to some people, but if you're hungry and you don't cook at home, you come and get some of this ready-made food, and literally you could eat it now if you want to, or take it home and have it later. I was just thinking to myself about who's actually standing here getting some food, and it's all the men. So they don't want to cook dinner tonight. It's Thursday evening now. A lot of people have just got off work and are coming here for the first thing to do after they leave work. And it's an easy way to make dinner. More salads. Then they've got literally the kitchens at the back right there. Sushi. So if you don't want to choose it by weight, they've got the packages already made. And it's an easy way to have dinner or have some friends over. They've even got some pancakes right here. A lot of these are the ones that have got savory fillings. Man, I'm hungry now. I can't decide what I want for dinner when I see so many choices, because it's a matter of, do I want to buy normal food and cook it, or do I want some prepared food? Now, talking about shashlik, have a look at all the choices. So they actually have a grill at the back there, and then they've got all of the prepared food right here. They've also got plof as well, a couple of different types of plof. And I've had this before too, and they do a la carte pasta right there at the back. It's a little bit hard to see, but he's doing pasta. Sorry. And then also over here you've got sandwiches, and then pizza, and plenty of choices of pizza. And they've got the ovens in the back. So you have so many choices of food. It's almost overwhelming. I wish that I had one of these stores somewhere close to my house. The nearest one for me is about 45 minutes away. So it's not convenient just to come in here and get something. All of the breads. And they've got a mini bakery, if you like, right here. They do all of the breads in-house. And then they'll have stuff that will come from a central bakery as well. Lots of different pastries with the fillings. Is that chocolate covered bread? Please tell me it is, because I think I want one. And all of the bakery items. And literally you just get yourself a plastic bag, and then you'd pay at the register. And all of the very nice cakes. And again, they've got the alcohols on top of the cakes. And we can see plenty of French flags and Italian flags on all of the different alcohol right there. I think I've got that correct. Where is that chocolate covered bread? I want some. So this prepared food or kitchen area is probably about a third of this whole supermarket. So it really takes up a fair space of the shop generally. And perhaps that's one of the reasons why so many people like this store, and just the selection and choices. Here is teas and coffees, and all of the pay-by-weight candy. And then this is how little frozen items they've got in Russia. You're literally down to a couple of fridges of frozen items based on this whole store, which is really quite big. They've got just a few choices. And then even canned food, you're limited to peas, carrots, corn, and olives, and that's pretty much it for anything that's canned. You might find tuna sometimes or canned beef, but that's about it. All of the different jarred pickles and different pickled vegetables would be what I want to say. Just trying to see if there's any foreign tickets on some of the stuff over here. Maybe they don't put it on everything, but there would have to be some other foreign items. Now, somebody did mention about, do they have maple syrup in Russia? And they actually have a Canadian one right there. Now, it isn't cheap. You're looking at almost $10 US for a bottle of it, but I can definitely buy it here in Russia. They seem to put some brighter lights when you come to the personal care section. And all of the usual items are definitely more than available. Of course, toothpaste. I don't tend to show lots of the personal care items in the videos. I seem to focus on a lot of other things, but there's definitely more than enough choices. And of course, we're not fighting for toilet roll in Russia, although there's not a very big display of it here. There is still more than enough choices. There is a half an aisle of washing powders. Is there any foreign ones? It would be very nice if they put a flag on every product, just for me to know where things are from. And it's not expected to know that, but just something different. And then we come to the baby food section, and then walking around we have more food. This is all the pastas and instant noodles. The very famous dosarak right there. This is the easiest meal in the store. Just put some boiling water in and wait a few minutes. Now, with the amount of prepared food in here, you could probably get a better meal than buying some instant noodles. All of the different choices of pasta. And then actually here is the other canned items. There's all the different tunas and fish. And I was thinking there might be some canned meat down here. There are a couple. Always a little bit hard to know which animal is which. But there's a few different types. And then the overwhelming amounts of tomato sauces and ketchups. Lots of choices again. And then the steak sauces, barbecue sauces. So we're not going hungry in Russia, that's an absolute certainty. And if we do go hungry, we just knock on the neighbor's door and find them for something. If not, what do we have here? This is more, I'm trying to figure out what I'm looking at. Oh, there's lots of different healthy items, I think. Then we come to cereals. So there is a few types of cereal, but it's not very popular. And I'll say it many times because most parents don't want their kids consuming so much sugar, particularly at breakfast time. I thought I'd save this last bit to go and have a look at the alcohol section and see what we can find. See if we can find some different flags. There's a wine there from Georgia. And actually, Georgian wines and wines from Crimea are very popular And you can see them in a lot of shops. I see lots of French flags. I see again some from Italy right there. Actually, I think that's the main 3 countries. Now I might go the other way for a second. I don't want to get in anybody's way walking around. We can definitely get American whiskey. You can see right there. I wish this giant beluga was on display, but I think that's the 3-litre bottle, but it's in the box sealed. Now, if you are from America, can you please tell me if you've heard of Billy Bong before? I wonder if this is made for an export market. I definitely think it's not a domestic product, of course. See here all of the cognacs. Of course, French flags everywhere. And then I think also from Armenia, I see some products as well. And then actually on this side is all of the whiskies. Let's see if they've got the right flags on them. Now what confuses me quite often is when they've got something from Scotland and then they've actually got a British flag on there. And they seem to do that quite often. Actually, you've got America and England side by side, of course. Scotch and an American whiskey. I like to see all these flags. So they pretty much have the English flag on all of the Scotch whiskey, when I think probably most people would associate that flag rather than having a Scottish flag, which people just wouldn't recognize. Is that the Portugal flag right there? If I'm saying something wrong, I really do apologize. Now, I do have a very good friend in Italy, David. So if you're watching, I'm trying to go extra slow so you can have a look at a couple of things. There is actually an entire section right here. Now I'm very happy because I like Eurospar and I like the fact they've got the flags on things. Now I was thinking this is Australia, but it's New Zealand. So the one question I really have for everybody is 2 years after we are not meant to be able to find all these foreign products. Here I am in a Moscow supermarket and I can literally walk in and buy New Zealand wine right there. And even for Australia, you know, there's meant to be no importing to Australia, well, importing to Russia, yet we can find things on the shelf. This must be all the products from Spain on this side. And then of course, all of the vodkas. But then we see the Polish flag, and then even one there from Finland, I think, as well. This is interesting. All of these choices from every country possible in this shop. And then more vodka on this side. And as it should be, the Russian flag is on literally that whole section. And here we go, there are some Russian wines right here. That's very nice. And this is what I wanted to show in this store, is the assortment and different choices of product from South Africa. And then have a look in a row here. America, Germany, and Austria. Am I getting that correct? My gosh, I feel bad if I'm messing it up. But there is a lot of choices here. And the one thing I've mentioned before about these stores is they just have one little aisle for each item. So So when you count up all the choices of wine, for instance, you're looking at maybe 500 or more choices. And then all of the liqueurs. And it seems to me with a lot of these liqueurs is they've got, for instance, a rum that should be from Puerto Rico with a Russian flag on it. And the same down here, which is interesting. And quite clearly they're not from Russia, but they've got them with that tag on. And all of the English products. So there's Malibu coconut rum, again with a British flag on, when it's definitely not from there either. Really hope you found walking around the alcohol section interesting. I could walk around this without a camera and look closely at the products and be continually amazed at the assortment of products in a shop like this. And you know, a couple of years into a lot of events that are happening very close by Russia, and people keep telling me that I can't buy foreign items in Russia, they're not available. And we walk into this store, and how many different flags have we seen on all the products? Of course, there is a very nice beer selection in this shop as well. And I think the easier way to see a beer selection is go to a standalone beer shop in Russia, where you can get even more choices. I mean, the problem I've got here is there's only 100 or so different types, whereas I can go to another wine store and beer store and they've got a few hundred choices. I think, of course, we all know Lay's. Now, all the Lay's that you see here are produced in Russian factories, and I wonder, has anybody had Tom Yum flavored Lay's? And there's even a guacamole flavor on the side here as well. Has anybody had those? And then have a look up the top. Pringles are still in Russia. Now, when you actually look at the label at the back, so there's the white import label, and these ones are actually from England. So we've got some British Pringles on the shelf. I've almost finished walking around, and I'm just curious for everybody watching, do you have this many choices of tea in your local shop or local supermarket? Because I think there's around about 50 different types of tea. Maybe not necessarily the different brands or companies, but just the choices and flavors and different mixes, I think might be the right word. Do you have this many teas in your local shop? Now, the coffee section isn't very big here. The thing is, the way they put it on the shelves, they're not stacking out lots of one brand. They put them a little bit closer together, so it always looks like there's less, but it's just one aisle of everything. So there's still quite a few choices. I'm a little bit distracted again by all of the ready-made food, and I thought I'd shown the pizza, but I'm not sure. Has anybody had broccoli and salmon pizza before? It must be popular. There's a few slices not there. And then they've got some cakes here and pastries, and some single slices of cakes. And then there's also the make your own takeaway coffee. So there's the cups here, all the different parts to do the coffee. So literally you make your own and you just pay at the register. And they've actually got a coffee club option. So for $4.50 American, you can get 2 cups of coffee per day for 30 days and only $4.50. So you can come and get 2 coffees a day, which is very nice. This store does have self-checkout because of the amount of people that are coming through the kitchen section and the ready food section. So there's naturally a lot more people who use this self-checkout area. And then there is the normal registers. And these are just as popular. So people will still line up to go to the regular registers, even when the self-checkout is completely a little bit quicker and a little bit faster. So it's always interesting in Russian supermarkets, you know, what people choose as their way to pay as they leave. As I make my way out of the store here, I thought it might be interesting to show you what a Russian typical supermarket looks like, where they just do that little bit extra. So you've got a little mini kitchen here, so you can wash your hands, get some cutlery. There's a microwave, and then all of the different food that you can buy. You can just come here and sit and enjoy lunch right on all of these tables. And if you want, you can do a little bit of work. But otherwise, most people sit and enjoy lunch or dinner right here in the supermarket. So of course, literally, that's the checkouts. And then everyone that's grabbed themselves a snack, they're eating right here on these tables and chairs rather than going home. Please tell me where you live. Do you have that choice or opportunity to eat in the supermarket? Now, the place is very busy today. I'm trying to find my way out, but I think people definitely like shopping here, and those 12,000 people that have rated this 4.9 stars on Yandex, there's obviously a reason for it. As I walk on out of Eurospar, I really hope you like this video, and especially lots of people really do enjoy watching supermarket tours here in Russia. And I think this store definitely deserves that rating on Yandex. And of course, you need a lot of people to do very positive reviews to get 4.9 stars. And especially with the amount of people that do reviews of this place, you can see from the choices, the selection, the amount of different products that are not necessarily all from Russia. I think it deserves that rating. And if you want to rate Russell, you can give me a thumbs up. If you've made it to the end of the video, let me know in the comments if you did or not. Maybe are you part of the Russell's Spar Club? I can't even think of a name to put. If you're not already joining me on Telegram, there's a link right here. I post lots of photos of my day-to-day travels in Moscow and beyond. And if you want to see an old video, I'm actually going to put a video of a beer shop that I went to. And it's got the largest choice of beer in Russia in one single store. So you can click that link and check that video out now. Thanks everybody. I'm off on another adventure. Bye.